It was a fundraiser at a school that serves children with learning disabilities. And the father was asked to come and give a speech. And he did so because he had a son in that school. And as he finished his speech, he left a question. He says, I would like to pose a question to you. And he says, when not interfered with by outside influences, everything nature does is done perfect. He said, yet my son Shea cannot learn things as other children do. And my son Shea cannot understand things like other children do. Where is the natural order of things in my son? Well, this stunned the crowd, and the audience didn't know exactly what to say. But he continued and he said, I believe that when a child like Shea, who is mentally and physically handicapped, comes into the world, an opportunity is given for human nature to present itself. And it comes in a way that other people treat that child. And he related this story. He says that one day him and his son were walking down a street. And they came to a park where a bunch of his friends, Shea's friends, were playing baseball. And his son Shea looked up to him and said, Dad, do you think they'll let me play baseball? And the dad looked at his son, and he knew that his son was handicapped. And he knew that the boys might not want a little boy like him with all of his handicaps. But he walked up to the boys and said, you know, my son would like to play with you boys. And the boy that was the captain of the team looked around and says, well, we're losing by 6 runs. And it's the 8th inning. I don't see why we can't just put him in, and we'll let him hit in the 9th inning. Well, my son Shea didn't know any better. He got so excited, he ran over and put on a t-shirt of the team and sat on the bench with a smile that could sell $1 million. As the team went out to play, Shea walked over with a smile from ear to ear. In the bottom of the 8th, Shea's team scored a few runs, but they were still 3 runs behind. In the 9th inning, Shea put on a glove and he went out to right field, and not a single ball went out to him, but boy, he was the best player out there. The bottom of the 9th came and they scored a couple of more runs, and now it was the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 outs, and it was Shea's turn to bat. Well, I didn't know what the team was going to do, whether they were going to just take the bat away from Shea, but to my surprise, the dad said, they gave the bat to Shea. Well, Shea picked up the bat and he looked at it and he didn't even know what it was. Everyone in the crowd knew that he would never hit the ball. Shea didn't even know how to hold a bat. But when the pitcher of the other team saw that the team was putting aside the win to make a special day for Shea, something happened in that game. The pitcher moved a few steps closer and he said, just keep your eye on the ball and swing the bat. Well, Shea got up there, and sure enough, the pitcher pitched the ball real soft. He lobbed it to him, and Shea swung. And, of course, he missed. The pitcher said, don't worry. You get 3 chances. This is the pitcher of the other team. He got a little closer, and he says, now, try one more time. And he threw the ball, and sure enough, Shea swung with all of his strength. And he even fell down, but he missed. So the pitcher got up closer, and he said, Shea, I want you to swing when you hear me say swing. And sure enough, the pitcher got up. He says, get ready, Shea. Swing! And sure enough, he swung and he barely hit the ball. And everyone started screaming, "Run, Shea, run! Run, Shea, run!" The pitcher picked up the ball and he told him, "Shea, run, Shea, run." Well, Shea had never run in his life. And he started just clopping and trying, and he got to halfway to first, and the pitcher had the ball, and he threw the ball to the first baseman and over the first baseman's head, and Shea made it to first base. Everyone in the crowd was clapping and saying, "Shea, run, Shea." And Shea didn't know what to do, so the first baseman got Shea by the hand and said, "Run, I'll run with you." The first baseman of the other team started running with Shea, and pretty soon Shea was just falling all over the place, but he made it to second base. Well, by this time the right fielder had the ball, and the right fielder looked at Shea and said, "Shea, run, Shea, run." And he threw the ball way over the third baseman's head. And Shea said, "Where do I go now?" "Run, Shea, run." All of a sudden, the shortstop was getting Shea by the hand and he was pulling him. "Come on, Shea." And Shea fell down, and the second baseman and the shortstop picked him out, and he got to third base. And now he was headed to home, and everyone was yelling, "Shea, Shea, all the way. Shea, Shea, all the way." And sure enough, with the third baseman, the second baseman, the shortstop, and the pitcher carrying Shea, he made it to home plate. A grand slam. Shea was the hero of the game. Everyone clapped and cheered. They picked up Shea. Shea was just beaming. And the dad said, "That was the best day my son ever had." You see, it's not if you win or lose. It doesn't matter how many runs you score. But it's been said that society is judged by how it treats the least fortunate amongst them. You see, Shea didn't make it the next year. He died that winter. But Shea never forgot the day that he was a hero at that baseball game. That was Shea's day. You know, God has put us on this earth to not win games, to not be the best, but to let our praise somehow reach God so it can help someone else along the way. You know, Shea was perhaps like you and me, but thanks be to God that somehow God found us when we were in need, and He sent a second baseman and a shortstop and a third baseman, and they carried us all the way to home base. That's what it's all about. And now as we are here, we want to just say, God, let my life touch Shea